Welcome back to the Archive Network. Aurelius here with Malik, curators of the Treaty Archive. We left Treaty of Berlin, 1878. Last time at the ink is dry. But what comes next? Today we pick up where we left off. With pens poised and nerves frayed, the diplomats gathered to sign a treaty that would reshape Southeast Europe forever. July 13th, 1878. The Treaty of Berlin was now official. Its terms were sweeping and ambitious, attempting to merge the desires of powerful empires with the aspirations of smaller nations. But as we'll discover, compromise often conceals deeper conflicts. The ink may have dried, but the issues were far from resolved. Such is the nature of political agreements.
Aurelius, while the treaty aimed for balance, it's crucial to remember the human cost behind those negotiations. The dreams of a unified Bulgaria were shattered, leaving many feeling betrayed. What kind of peace is built on the broken hopes of the very people it intends to benefit? The great powers may have secured their interests, but the local populations were left in turmoil.
You're correct about the Bulgarians, Malik. The treaty carved Bulgaria into three distinct regions. The principality emerged under Ottoman suzerainty, but it was a hollow victory, really. The great powers had their reasons. They aimed to check Russian influence and prevent the rise of a powerful Slavic bloc. In their eyes, any semblance of unity among Slavic nations was a threat. We see this tactic throughout history: divide and conquer. It's a common play in the game of empires.
But those divisions didn't just neutralize Russian ambitions. They sowed deep resentment among Bulgarians, especially those in eastern Romania and Macedonia. This treaty didn't just redraw borders. It deepened wounds that would fester for decades. The local populations weren't mere pawns in a power game. They were real people with dreams and lives, left to bear the heavy consequences of decisions made far away. They felt the weight of betrayal, and that bitterness would shape their futures.
The situation in Bosnia and Herzegovina was perhaps even more complex than it seemed at first glance. These provinces remained nominally Ottoman, yet they were effectively under the administration of Austro-Hungary. This arrangement allowed Vienna to strengthen its foothold in the Balkans without outright annexation. We see here a classic case of empire management, controlling territory while avoiding direct involvement. It's a delicate balancing act, maneuvering through local politics and keeping the peace, all while maintaining an air of sovereignty.
Aurelius, let's not forget the local populations in Bosnia and Herzegovina. They weren't just numbers on a page. They were real people with their own distinct identities and hopes. When foreign powers imposed their rule, even under the pretense of better governance, it only stoked feelings of resistance and anger. Don't you think it's naive to assume that such a drastic change would be welcomed without a fight? People don't just accept new orders. They fight for their lives and their dreams.
You raise a valid point, Malik. The Ottomans, weakened by defeat, clung to the remnants of their empire. They were pressured into reforms to protect their Christian subjects, but these reforms often remained unfulfilled. The great powers kept their right to intervene, a reminder of the empire's vulnerability. This precarious balance was a recipe for future conflict.
And while the treaty did secure Ottoman sovereignty over the straits, it came with a heavy price. They had to keep these vital waterways open for commercial shipping, which really tied their hands. For Britain, this was a strategic win, but for the Ottomans, it meant losing control over something so crucial. It's a reminder that power dynamics shape agreements in ways that often leave vulnerable states with little say, impacting real lives and communities.
True enough, the diplomats may have thought they crafted a durable peace. Yet, the treaty's complexities masked unresolved tensions that were simmering just beneath the surface. The ink was barely dry before discontent began to bubble up. Nationalists plotted in the shadows, and the specter of violence loomed large. This treaty may have averted immediate war, but it was nothing more than a temporary fix, a bandage on a wound that needed real healing.
And those unresolved tensions weren't just about politics. They cut deep into the core of society. Minorities felt pushed to the margins, and nationalists eagerly seized on that discontent to rally their supporters. The so-called peace crafted in Berlin did little to tackle the real issues at hand. It merely kicked the can down the road, setting the stage for an explosive reaction from those who felt cheated and ignored. The human cost of this neglect was steep, and it was only a matter of time before it all erupted.
So, the Treaty of Berlin, with its dense legal language, was ultimately a reflection of imperial ambitions overshadowing the aspirations of the Balkan peoples. The diplomats congratulated themselves on averting a wider European war. Yet, their decisions left many wounds unhealed. The ink is dry, but it only marks the beginning of a long struggle.
And as we look back at this moment, it's clear that treaties cannot contain the passions of peoples. The Treaty of Berlin was not an end. It was a new chapter, rife with complexities. The Balkans, as we know, would continue to be a hotbed of tensions and conflicts, proving that diplomacy often falls short of true peace.
You're right, Malik. The great powers may have thought they had crafted a resolution that would stand the test of time, but they missed a crucial detail: the desires and needs of the people. The ink may be dry on the treaties, but what follows is far more significant. That's the real question we should be asking. History has a knack for unfolding in ways we never expect, often with a touch of irony that can leave us all speechless.
That's where we leave it this time. Treaty of Berlin, 1878, continues. The story isn't finished yet. Find the full series on the Treaty Archive, part of the Archive Network. We'll be back with the next chapter.